Hey, what's going on, guys? I hope you guys are having a wonderful day. My name is Dr. Boyce Watkins, and I'm here in Copenhagen. And I want to check in a little bit and talk to you guys about some of the things that are happening in the stock market, give you some profit alerts, let you know what I'm invested in, and just what's happening, where the money resides. Today was a great day for the stock market in a couple of areas, more specifically related to stocks that I happen to own. One of the stocks that I was really curious about, not because I believed in the company, but because I believe in corruption, is Donald Trump Technologies, DJT, or Donald Trump Media, whatever the company's called. It's not a great company, but apparently Trump's company has done some sort of a merger with this nuclear fusion company or something, which is weird, right? Very weird. I thought they were a media company. I thought they were into social media, but apparently they're switching direction, which really says a lot. And I'm going to get to that in a second. So basically, it wasn't a hostile takeover. DJT is the ticker symbol, and it's an all stock merger between Trump Media Technology Group and TAE Technologies, which is a nuclear fusion company. Now, that's weird. I don't know if that does that make sense to anybody. I think it's crazy as hell. And by the way, can you guys hear me? If you could give me a quick yes in the comments, let me know you can hear me. Let me know I'm coming through. Okay, give me a quick yes. I'm across the world. This international Wi-Fi is sketchy. You don't know what you're gonna get. So just give me a quick yes. And let me know, and I'll keep on going. Basically, it's a $6 billion deal, all stock. So Trump is going to get richer off this deal. The structure is the company is going to be split 50-50 between Trump Media and TAE shareholders. What's TAE again? TAE, just TAE Technologies. They don't even say what it stands for. And basically, it's going to happen around mid 2026. And basically, what's interesting is that it literally is switching the company's industry almost. They're going from media, social media, to nuclear fusion, which okay, like I get it though. Fusion is important because fusion relates to the energy shortage that's going to happen because of AI. Because of AI, you're going to have a shortage on energy, and that is something I've mentioned to you all that I've been invested in consistently for a long time because AI is just going to eat up the electrical grid, and they're going to have to find alternative uses of energy. So if you can hold on and deal with the volatility, a lot of these assets long term are going to be good, but you have to have a diversified portfolio. You don't want to put all your money, all your eggs in one basket, because that's how your eggs get cracked. Okay. But anyway, it's funny that this happened today because I happen to have bought some shares of Trump's company. I didn't buy the shares because I believe in the company. I don't think that DJT is a particularly good asset to own per se. I believe that DJT is it's the kind of stock that, in my view, comes off a little bit sketchy. There's just nothing special about it. The only thing special about it is that it's connected to the president of the United States, right? So you can see where this stock has gone up. It's over 41% today. That comma is because I'm actually in Denmark, so they use commas here instead of decimals like regular people. I'm kidding. All right. And you see here monthly, you've had a 38% increase over the month. You see this spike right here. This is the merger. And I happen to buy a lot of shares like around here. And so, it's a good look. But you look at the stock overall, last 6 months, it's been a dog. Year to date, it's been a dog, down 56%. Over the last year, a dog. Last 5 years, a little bit green. Because of this merger today. So my point is to say that I bought the stock because I don't believe necessarily in the goodness of American capitalism. I'm a realist about capitalism. I'm a finance professor, in case you're new and you don't know this, but I'm a realist, and I trust people to be who they are, right? I don't trust them to be good people or bad people. I trust them to be what they are. And I think that there is a level of corruption in the sense that people that get in power tend to take care of themselves first. And so I said, okay, well, let me go buy some shares of DJT because the stock is in the ditch. And I believe at some point that stock may get a pump, may get a boost from the White House. And lo and behold, it just happened to occur just a few days later. So yes, I did make a few $1,000s from it, and I immediately started selling shares. I didn't sell it all, but I sold probably about 30% of my stake because I don't look gift horses in the mouth. You give me a 30% increase, I'm shaving some of that off. Not all of it though, because I still want to see how the story ends, but I shave some of that off. Now, do me a favor, hit the thumbs up button, thumbs up, share, subscribe. My name is Dr. Boyce Watkins. I'm a finance professor and the founder of the Black Business School. And I have a book called The 10 Commandments Tenets of Black Economic Power. It's an Amazon bestseller. If you want to get a copy, and I'll sign it for you and send it to your house, just go to drboycebooks.com. The URL's on the screen, drboycebooks.com. I'm also on Spotify. Just look up my name, Boyce Watkins, on Spotify. You can find me there. Now, Roxanne is bringing up something good. Yeah, I didn't make this connection. They did kill that MIT professor, and he's an expert in nuclear fusion. How crazy is that this happened right when there is the merger? I mean, that's pretty sinister, right? And nobody knows how this guy got killed, why he got killed, and I guess it could line up in the list of mysterious deaths, similar to a lot of you that know Chicago, you'll know about the guy that got killed at Barack Obama's church. He got killed execution style in his house on Christmas Eve. I don't think they ever found out who did it, but his mother was making an accusation about it. And I'll let you go Google that and look that up. I'm not even going to talk about it too much, but that was really interesting to me too. That was probably 20 years ago. But so yeah, I think in politics, I think they do unalive people sometimes. It happens. All right. So anyway, with that being said, let's hop into another piece of news. I didn't want to keep you guys here for longer than 10 minutes. I decided to do like these 10-minute talks. So I've already used 6 minutes of my 10. So I'm going to be quick. I might use a little bit more, and I hope that that's okay. I hope that this helps you. There's also something going on with cannabis. You guys know with weed, I've been a big investor in weed, and I wanted to break down what's happening with weed and why I'm still maintaining my investment there. And I'll tell you exactly why I'm invested there. I do not smoke. All the research shows actually that if you smoke too much of that stuff, it will destroy your lungs and it will destroy your brain. All that's there. Stop thinking that you can sit around and be a weed head and you're going to be just like everybody else. No, if you're smoking it, people can smell it on you. And then if you're taking the gummies and you're doing all the time, your brain's going to be running like on a lag. So I'm not telling people what to do. I am saying, though, that if you're a weed head, that's going to be not so good for you, especially in the workplace. And actually, I do have some CBD oil in my bag, literally, because the CBD is really good for, the medicinal qualities, right? But then again, if you want to get a little high, I ain't here to judge you, man. Life is hard. You do you, okay? Don't be listening to me. All right. So anyway, with that being said, basically, here's what happened here. So Trump basically pushed out an executive order. And in this executive order, he's having weed get reclassified from Schedule 1 to Schedule 3 under the federal drug law, which is a big deal, but it's not full federal legislation and it's not passed yet. This is just an executive order. So Schedule 3 changes, it signals, it doesn't confirm, it signals accepted medical use at the federal level, which makes it easier for research and reducing some of the regulatory issues that are there. It doesn't automatically make recreational weed legal, and it doesn't erase state by state rules. So the states have a lot of rules, prior convictions, whether you're a felon, and I just think in the weed industry, they screwed black people so bad. They screwed us so bad because we were the ones going to jail for weed, and yet we're the last ones to be able to benefit from it. They ought to be ashamed of themselves, but that's just white folks being white, and that's why I don't have any faith in a racist becoming unracist. I think that we have to represent ourselves and fight for ourselves, fight for our children, invest for your kids. Ain't nobody coming to save us. I ain't waiting on no Democrat, no Republican, nobody, because we're all that we need. I hope that you agree. Let me know if you agree with that. But anyway, with that being said, it says experts highlight potential tax relief because the IRS 280E penalty generally applies to Schedule 1 and 2 substances. So it's like a tax thing, right? So apparently they're going to get a big tax break because of this new classification, which is awesome. Now, here's what's happened next. Now, the thing I wanted to figure out was like, okay, what's expected next? What's the next piece to this? This is the idea with investing. You're not really investing based on what just happened. Get that out of your head. Stop thinking that I'm gonna buy a stock because of something that just happened. The only reason that what just happened matters is because it could be a predictor of what's going to happen next. I'm always looking down the road. You don't look behind that much. You look behind a little bit, but not so much. So I'm like, okay, what's going to happen next? Because all the benefits of this executive order have already happened. The party's already ended, right? You got the party, the lights are out, the police have arrived, and ain't no more liquor left, right? So the question for you, in my opinion, is not like, okay, what just happened? The question should be, what can we expect next? So here's the deal. Let me tell you how I invest. I am your local weed man because I own a lot of investments in weed, and the investment I use is an ETF called YOLO, YOLO. Another one I own a substantial amount in is MSOS. And I pick ETFs because I don't want to pick individual companies, but I might jump in and buy some Tilray or something just so I can have a little bit of that, what they call idiosyncratic risk, right? So you can see where YOLO just shot up like crazy in the last month because of these executive orders when they were announced. That made a big deal. This is where the reward happens. So this 100% increase in this asset, which I've been very happy about. It actually is after a 5-year, consistent decline here. But what's really interesting to me is I really suspect that this could open the door to further deregulation. That's my point, and perhaps eventually legalization. If they make it legal, which I think that they should, I don't want to be out here policing people whether they want to smoke. I mean, stuff, the heavy stuff. Yeah, we got to regulate that, man. I don't like seeing all those people crouched over with the opioids and all that. That's terrible to watch. But literally, if somebody wants to smoke a little bit, I ain't never been hurt by nobody for smoking weed. So I don't care how legal it is. I believe they're eventually going to legalize it completely. So as they pass the laws, right, as they actually get through the opposition to actually make it real, because it's not 100% real, it's just an executive order, I think that can lead to further increases in the stock price. Those could be catalysts for improvement. So even though I was happy to make the money that I made, I shaved my position a little bit, but I did buy some more MSOS, and I'll probably buy some Tilray too. Not because I know what's going to happen, but because I want to be there when it does. And so ultimately, next you can see DEO and DOJ rulemaking. It has to translate into formal federal scheduling processes. And also, you're going to get some pushback. There's some conservatives who, for whatever reason, think that people will never smoke weed, which is weird to me. Banking. If you don't know, cannabis investors are blocked from the banking system. And so this is a big one. Once they open up that banking system, which they're already doing that for crypto, they're already doing it for all these other alternative assets. Why wouldn't they do that for the weed man? Right. I believe that's kind of like a block, a big investing block where you've got the people that just want to do banking different, that want a little more freedom. And I think that the weed folks are in there with the crypto folks who are in there with the people setting up prediction markets and all that, just sort of the edgier side of finance. And they're fighting against the banking industry that doesn't want them involved. But eventually they're going to knock that door down. And I think that that's going to lead to some upward catalysts in terms of stock prices. Now, I'm curious really quick, how many of you are on Facebook? Is anybody on Facebook right now? I see a lot of you on YouTube. Actually, whatever you're on, if you're on YouTube, say YouTube. If you're on Facebook, say Facebook. If you're on X, say X. I like to just see the distribution of who's where. And if you're listening on Spotify, then you don't have to say nothing. You just keep listening. But all right, so if you're on YouTube or okay, Carl says, so that's interesting. Carl says he's on Facebook, but you've got the YouTube icon next to your name. That's kind of strange. That's interesting, right? And someone says I like X, but you're not on X. It says you're on YouTube. Okay, I see a lot of YouTubers. I don't see a lot of Facebookers. Okay, I'm just curious because we're distributing to both places. I like to just see what's what. All right, so let me give you a couple more things that are going on right now. So yeah, if you want to know how I feel about weed in general, I think that there's a future there. I think that there's going to be big money made there. It's a patient game though. It's one of those like 5-year, 10-year scenarios. It's not something that's going to really pop off next week, right? So if you're an impatient investor, which you probably shouldn't be investing if you're super impatient, then it may not be for you. But if you're okay with just buying and owning and accumulating and waiting, and you give yourself 5 years or 10 years, come on, you really think in the year 2035 this stuff won't be legal? It's going to be legal, right? So what'll happen is when it gets legalized, and you're going to see me on here, I'm going to be bragging. I'm going to be like, yeah, see, remember back in 2025 when I told y'all that 2026, right? When they make it legal, we're going to look back and say, man, I could have bought YOLO for $3. Now it's $30. Now it's $50. I believe that could happen. I'm not guaranteeing anything. This is not investing advice. Nobody can predict the stock market, but this is what I'm saying. Okay. All right. So anyway, one thing I want to offer you guys is you may not know, but I have an ebook that I wrote in 2013 called It Takes a Village to Raise the Bar, a New Paradigm for Black America. And it's built around what I call Project 2070, which is, I believe, by the year 2070, Black people can be the leading investors on the planet. We can lead the world in terms of financial intelligence. This means educating the babies, but educating the babies to educate their babies. So we're really talking about not your kids, we're talking about your grandkids. They're going to be active and popping in the year 2070. And so ultimately, I wrote about this in a book in 2013. That's when I created Project 2070. We're 12 years in. We're probably 10 or 15 years ahead of schedule. And maybe I should have called it Project 2050 or 2045, because I believe that by 2040, 2050, we're going to be at the top of the pile, the food chain. So you can have a free e-copy of that book. I'm putting this link in the chat, and you can just grab a free e-copy of that book, download it. And I did a whole tour around it. Minister Louis Farrakhan joined me in one city. Cornel West joined me in another. Dr. Steve Perry joined me in another. Russell Simmons and I did something together where we freed a lot of people from mass incarceration. I wrote a letter to President Obama, and Russell got a lot of celebrities to sign the letter, from Will and Jada to the Lil Waynes and the Kardashians and all these Justin Bieber types. So anyway, you can get the book by clicking on that link. I put the link in the comments. Let me know if you see it, and it's free. It's yours. You can have it. Also, if you don't see it there, just text the word money to the number 87948. Text money to 87948, and I'll send you some more free stuff. All right. So last point of action. Let's talk one more thing. We'll talk about one more thing that's going to happen tomorrow. Tomorrow, as a Friday, the 19th, is going to be a wild time. Now, some of you may be listening after Friday the 19th, but you should know about this. You basically have, I'm going to read some of this to you, and you'll just kind of know. It says here on CNBC that Wall Street could be in for a volatile end of the week as traders brace for what Goldman Sachs says will be the largest options expiration on record. Options expiration days are a monthly occurrence on Wall Street when the contracts on short-term derivatives expire. Friday happens to be one of the rare times, 4 times a year, when options on 4 types of securities expire on the same day: index options, single stock options, index futures, and index futures options. This is called the quadruple witching day. More than 7.1 trillion in notional options exposure is set to expire this Friday, according to Goldman, including roughly $5 trillion tied to the S&P 500 index and $880 billion linked to single stocks. December options expirations are typically the biggest of the year, but this one eclipsed all prior records. So that's going to be crazy volatility. It's going to be wild. So either if you're in there, either get comfortable with it. If you're not in there, then you may want to run for the hills, but it's going to be a wild day tomorrow. In fact, I'm going to hit up the options students to talk about that. And that's going to be a big deal. So if you have options outstanding, maybe you're studying stock options with us, you may want to go ahead and end those contracts early in the morning so you don't get caught up in this craziness and this volatility, because it's really about to be popping. It's about to be a crazy day, most likely. And that's something I wanted to warn you guys about as well. All right. So one more thing, don't forget the All Black National Convention is going to happen the weekend of October 16th. So if you want to join us at the All Black National Convention, that's where we get together and we plan the future for our community, and our families get together. We build wealth together and learn together, everything else, and connect. Just go to allblacknationalconvention.com. We're going to be in Jersey City, right outside of Brooklyn, close to Manhattan, at the Hyatt on the Hudson. And so the weekend of October 16th. So if you'd like to join us, if you're a vendor and you want your business to be exposed to Black people, the All Black National Convention is for you. If you're looking for people that you can form businesses with, the All Black National Convention is for you. If you care about the community and you want to educate yourself and others, the All Black National Convention is for you. If you have children that you want to introduce to a culture of wealth and success, the All Black National Convention is for you. So allblacknationalconvention.com is the URL. So feel free to join us. All right. So for some reason, people keep asking me about fan base. I don't know if that's a plant. I don't know if because they keep writing fan base in the comments. Yeah, I invested in fan base. I don't know much about it. I've used it a little bit, but for the most part, I think that social media platforms at that level require tremendous amounts of funding, like $100 million or more, that kind of thing. So, but I wish them the very best. I hope that it works out. And actually, we do actually have a social media platform that we created as well. And you can go take a look at it. It operates a little bit like a Facebook type situation. It's B1 Nation, and I'll put the URL in the comments. It's b1nation.us, and b1nation.us is a space for B1 people to connect with each other. And you can go in there. You can actually click a link and find other B1 people that are in your area. You can post just like you do on Facebook. So we've had B1 Nation up for probably, I want to say, maybe 5 years now or something like that. And there's probably about 100,000 people on there now, maybe 80,000 or 90,000. It's a big number. So feel free to go to b1nation.us if you'd like to join that as well. All right. So God bless you. I hope you guys have a great day. Hit the thumbs up button on your way out, and I will see you soon. Take care. Have a good day. Bye-bye.